Who doesn't like a pretty memento? You know, a souvenir. When visiting an exotic place or when on vacation, whether or not we like to go all out with the shopping, a souvenir is something that we almost always like to pick. Sometimes for our friends and relatives, sometimes just a little fridge magnet for ourselves. You know, something to remember the place and the experience by. What if that experience is flying the Air Force One, the official plane of the American president? Now, say you get to ride on the plane. Would you like to keep a souvenir of your brush with power? I'm sure you would, because it is not every day that you get to board the plane or fly with the US president. Work takes many journalists to the press cabin of the Air Force One. They fly with the US president on his official visits. But aboard the Air Force One, the crew does not hand out fridge magnets or stickers. So how does a White House correspondent remember the flight, if not by a keepsake? Now, over the years, reporters have reportedly found their own sources for souvenirs. Some have allegedly picked up wine glasses. Some have picked up a spoon here or a fork there, anything as long as it carries the insignia of the Air Force One. Some American correspondents reportedly also managed to fit dinner plates into their backpacks. Many have repeated the drill multiple times, as per reports. There are reports of correspondents flashing their conquests at dinner tables, showing off their Air Force One porcelain collection. As per one report, in fact, a former White House correspondent once hosted a dinner where they served food on Air Force One plates, all picked one by one over the course of their career. Anyway, my point is, the Air Force One loot is allegedly an open secret in Washington, with veterans reportedly nudging newbies to flick a wine glass for keepsake. It's not unusual to hear the sound of clinking glassware as reporters get off the Air Force One with their carry-on luggage. Quite an irony, if you ask me, given how heavily secured the Air Force One is. The White House, we are told, has had enough of this joke. In February, the Air Force One crew reportedly notified the White House travel official of items missing from its inventory. And soon an email went out from the White House Correspondents Association to its members. The text was clear. The missing items from the Air Force One press cabin have not gone unnoticed. If you are one of those who did happen to take something off the plane by mistake, we can help you return it. One correspondent did take up the offer. Reports talk about a secret meeting that was arranged between the correspondent and a government official at a park near the White House. The correspondent returned an embroidered pillowcase. This was an exception. No one else really responded to the email or acted on the association's request. Now, for a journalist, a ride on the Air Force One is not free. Media outlets have to pay for their reporters to fly the Air Force One. The bill is inclusive of in-flight meals and drinks. The publication that first reported this story wrote, and I quote, "For years, scores of journalists and others have quietly stuffed everything from engraved whiskey tumblers to wine glasses to pretty much anything with the Air Force One insignia on it into their bag before stepping off the plane." But why just blame reporters alone? There are reports of senators picking or taking home items from Air Force One. In the year 2012, actor Allison Williams spoke about how her dad once picked an item from the Air Force One and how she used that item to impress a boy. You see, that's where the story lies. People like to impress the others by showing off the fact that they have had the chance to board a plane whose ticket money cannot really buy you. Souvenirs help them in their mission to impress. Sure, the US Air Force has a site where it sells Air Force One mementos, but these souvenirs are nothing like the items used on board the presidential plane. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.